In the heart of the bustling metropolis, a city that never slept found itself trapped in an unrelenting shroud of darkness. The sun had vanished from the sky, and the moon, once a gentle nightlight, was obscured by an impenetrable blackness. For many weeks, the city dwellers stumbled through the streets like blind ghosts, their lives engulfed by an inexplicable and suffocating gloom. At first, the citizens dismissed the phenomenon as a temporary glitch in the power grid or an unusual weather pattern. However, as days turned into weeks and the pervasive darkness persisted, fear began to grip the hearts of the once vibrant community. Desperation and paranoia took root, spreading like a virus through the city's veins. The streets, once filled with the laughter of children and the chatter of adults, now echoed with hushed whispers and nervous footsteps. Abandoned buildings loomed like silent sentinels, their darkened windows staring out like the vacant eyes of a forgotten civilization. Among the anxious residents was Emily, a young woman whose once cheerful spirit had been swallowed by the oppressive blackness. She lived alone in a small apartment on the outskirts of the city, the shadows encroaching upon her solitude like silent predators. Sleep became a distant memory as the inky night seeped into her dreams, twisting them into nightmares that left her waking in cold sweats. One evening, as Emily roamed the desolate streets in search of answers, she stumbled upon a group of people gathered in a dimly lit alley. They huddled together, their faces etched with a mixture of dread and determination. Emily approached cautiously, drawn to the desperate energy that hung in the air like an invisible storm. In the center of the group stood an elderly man named Ezekiel, a local historian known for his knowledge of the city's forgotten past. He spoke with a solemnity that sent shivers down Emily's spine, recounting ancient tales of a curse that had long been buried in the city's history. According to Ezekiel, the city had once been a haven for a group of occultists who practiced forbidden rituals in the shadows. They sought to harness the power of the darkness itself, believing it held the key to unimaginable power. However, their ambitions led to a catastrophic event. In the darkness they unleashed consumed them and the entire city. As Ezekiel spoke, Emily felt a chill crawl up her spine. The realization that the city's plight was not a mere accident, but the result of a malevolent force, gripped her with terror. The group, now bound by a shared sense of urgency, decided to delve into the city's forgotten catacombs, rumored to hold the remnants of the occultist's dark experiments. Armed with flashlights, the group ventured beneath the city streets, navigating through labyrinthine tunnels that seemed to swallow the feeble beams of light. The air grew thick with an otherworldly stillness, and the distant echoes of their footsteps bounced off unseen walls. As they reached the heart of the catacombs, a chamber emerged from the shadows, adorned with ominous symbols and flickering candles. At the center lay an ancient tome, its pages filled with incantations that whispered promises of power and doom. Ezekiel, his trembling hands revealing the weight of his years, translated the dark verses that detailed a ritual capable of sealing the malevolent force that had ensnared the city. With trepidation, the group began the ritual, the air pulsating with an eerie energy. As the incantations echoed through the chamber, the darkness seemed to recoil, clawing at the edges of the room as if fighting to maintain its hold. Emily felt a surge of hope as the oppressive gloom lifted, revealing the long-forgotten beauty of the city bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. But just as the group began to celebrate their victory, a bone-chilling wail echoed through the catacombs. Shadows twisted and writhed, coalescing into a monstrous form that loomed before them. The malevolent force, angered by the intrusion, manifested itself in a grotesque figure that defied the laws of nature. In a desperate bid to complete the ritual, the group chanted louder, their voices trembling with fear and determination. The monstrous entity thrashed against the magical barriers they erected, unleashing a torrent of darkness that threatened to consume them all. Emily's heart raced as she faced the embodiment of the city's ancient curse, her resolve faltering for a moment. Just as all seemed lost, a surge of power emanated from the ancient tome, engulfing the entity in a blinding light. The catacombs trembled as the force of the ritual reached its climax, the darkness dissipating like a morning mist. The group, exhausted but victorious, emerged from the depths, blinking against the sudden brightness of the moonlit city. As the first rays of sunlight broke through the horizon, Emily surveyed the transformed landscape. The city, once shrouded in inexplicable darkness, now stood bathed in the warm embrace of dawn. The nightmare that had gripped the metropolis for weeks had come to an end, and the residents emerged from their homes, blinking in disbelief at the returning light. Ezekiel, his eyes filled with a mix of relief and sorrow, explained that the curse had been temporarily sealed, but its malevolence still lingered in the shadows. The group, now bound by a shared destiny, vowed to remain vigilant, for the ancient darkness that once threatened to consume their city may one day return. As the city slowly reclaimed its vibrancy, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows still held secrets, and that the darkness, though banished for now, lingered in the corners, biding its time. The memory of the inexplicable darkness and the horrors beneath the city would forever haunt the dreams of those who had faced the malevolent force, a reminder that some nightmares, once awakened, never truly slumber. Months passed, and the city began to rebuild itself, the scars of the supernatural ordeal slowly fading. Emily, haunted by the memories of the catacombs and the grotesque entity, struggled to return to a semblance of normalcy. Nightmares continued to plague her sleep, vivid scenes of writhing shadows and malevolent whispers echoing in the recesses of her mind. The group that had confronted the ancient darkness remained connected, their lives intertwined by the shared trauma they had endured. Ezekiel, burdened by the weight of the city's secrets, devoted himself to deciphering more about the occultists and the source of the curse. His research led him to dusty archives and forgotten texts, uncovering a web of dark conspiracies that spanned centuries. One evening, as Emily walked through the revitalized streets, she felt a familiar chill down her spine. The air seemed to thicken, and shadows cast unnatural shapes on the pavement. A sense of foreboding settled over her, and she couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that the darkness had not been fully vanquished. Ezekiel, sensing the lingering malevolence, gathered the group once again. Their investigations led them to a forgotten sect of occultists who had survived the centuries in secrecy, hidden beneath the city's facade. These remnants sought to harness the ancient curse once more, driven by a thirst for power that defied reason. As the group delved into the underground tunnels once more, they discovered a hidden chamber where the surviving occultists conducted their sinister rituals. Candles flickered ominously, casting long shadows that danced along the stone walls. At the center of the chamber stood a grotesque altar, adorned with forbidden symbols and surrounded by the bones of sacrificial victims. The surviving occultists, their eyes hollow and filled with malevolent intent, confronted the group. A battle between light and darkness ensued, the air crackling with the clash of magical energies. The underground chamber became a battleground, with flashes of light illuminating the faces of those who fought against the ancient evil. Ezekiel, with his extensive knowledge of the occult, faced the leader of the surviving sect in a tense confrontation. The air pulsed with the raw power of their conflicting forces, each seeking dominance over the other. In a final desperate act, Ezekiel channeled the collective strength of the group into a potent spell, unleashing a surge of energy that overwhelmed the surviving occultists. As the last echoes of the battle faded, the chamber fell silent. The surviving occultists lay defeated, their dark ambitions shattered. The group, battered and weary, emerged from the underground once more, the weight of their victory tempered by the realization that the ancient darkness was a relentless adversary. The city, though spared once again, bore the scars of its supernatural struggles. The residents, oblivious to the battles fought beneath their feet, continued with their lives, grateful for the return of light. Emily, now marked by her experiences, couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows would forever cast a long, looming presence over the city. Ezekiel, aged by the relentless pursuit of knowledge, shared a solemn warning with the group. The ancient darkness, he revealed, was a force deeply rooted in the city's history, a malevolence that could only be temporarily subdued. The battle against the shadows was an ongoing one, a cyclical struggle that would require eternal vigilance. As the group parted ways, each carrying the weight of their shared history, Emily couldn't help but glance over her shoulder. The city skyline, once again bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, held secrets in its shadows. The inexplicable darkness had been banished, but the lingering fear remained, a chilling reminder that some battles, fought in the depths of the unknown, could never truly be won. Years passed, and the city continued to thrive, seemingly untouched by the darkness that had plagued it. The group that had faced the ancient curse dispersed, each member finding their own way in the world. Emily, though she tried to move on, found herself forever changed by the horrors she had witnessed. Yet, the city remained a beacon of normalcy, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The memories of the battles in the underground catacombs began to fade from the collective consciousness, replaced by the comforting hum of everyday life. The shadows that once seemed to dance with malevolence were dismissed as mere remnants of a forgotten nightmare. Emily, now librarian, poured herself into research on ancient curses and forbidden rituals, driven by an unrelenting desire to understand the forces that had nearly claimed her city. Late one night, as she delved into dusty tomes and cryptic manuscripts, she uncovered a disturbing revelation, a prophecy foretelling the periodic resurgence of the ancient darkness. The prophecy spoke of a cycle, an ebb, and flow of supernatural forces that would test the city's resilience over and over again. It hinted at a connection between the surviving occultists and a deeper, more insidious power that had yet to reveal itself. Emily, haunted by the knowledge, reached out to her former allies, hoping to reassemble the group for one final stand. The reunion was reluctant but inevitable. The surviving members gathered, their faces marked by the passage of time and the weight of shared history. Ezekiel, now frail and weathered, reiterated the urgency of their mission. The city, he warned, stood at the precipice of another descent into darkness. As the group ventured once more into the forgotten depths beneath the city, they discovered an ancient portal, a gateway to a realm of unfathomable darkness that lay beyond the earthly plane. The surviving occultists, driven by an insatiable thirst for power, sought to open the portal and unleash the malevolent force that lurked beyond. In a final confrontation, the group faced the surviving occultists and their dark leader. The battle that ensued transcended the boundaries of reality, as the very fabric of the supernatural realm and the earthly plane collided. Each member of the group fought with a determination forged by the memories of past battles, their unity a beacon of light against the encroaching darkness. Ezekiel, drawing upon the last reserves of his strength, performed a ritual that sealed the ancient portal and banished the malevolent force back to the depths from whence it came. The cataclysmic energy released in the process shook the underground chamber, leaving the surviving members battered but victorious. As they emerged into the moonlit city once more, the group knew that the battle against the ancient darkness was not over. The cycle, as foretold by the prophecy, would persist, and the shadows would continue to harbor the secrets of a malevolent force that transcended time and space. The surviving members, burdened by the knowledge of their eternal struggle, made a silent pact to remain vigilant. The city, now a symbol of resilience and defiance, held within its foundations the echoes of a never-ending war against the forces that sought to plunge it into inexplicable darkness. Emily, her gaze fixed on the city skyline, understood that the shadows would forever be a part of her reality. The inexplicable darkness had shaped her, defining her purpose in the ongoing battle against the ancient curse. As the first light of dawn painted the horizon, she couldn't help but wonder if, someday, the city would break free from the shackles of its haunted past, or if the shadows would forever be an indelible part of its destiny.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.